Welcome to our channel. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, click out the subscribe icon to get subscribed to our channel and click out the bell button to get notified about latest videos. Today in this video we are going to discuss about digestion in stomach. In our previous video we discussed about digestion in buccal cavity, that is mouth. So what happens in stomach during digestion? The food material from buccal cavity reaches the stomach through the esophagus. In stomach, the food materials are broken down and made into a creamy paste by the physical squeezing activity, which is called as churning of the stomach muscles, and on the activity of the hydrochloric acid and digestive enzyme also. This final creamy product is obtained, which is called as chyme. This chyme is transported to the small intestine where it undergoes further digestion and absorption. So if you go in detail into the stomach, first of all we must discuss about the parts of the stomach. The stomach has three parts: fundus, cardiac and pyrolic. The fundus is the uppermost part of the stomach, and the cardiac part is a very important part because in the cardiac part only the esophagus enters the stomach and the food materials from the esophagus first enters into the cardiac part only. From the cardiac part the food materials moves to the pyrolic part. From the pyrolic part the food materials enters the superior portion of the duodenum and then to the small intestine. So now we are clear with the parts of the stomach and movement of food inside the stomach. And if you see, there are some gastric glands and cells present inside the stomach. If you see the neck cells which secrete mucus. Mucus is very important for stomach because it prevents the stomach wall, act as a barrier preventing the stomach wall from the activity of hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid, and the digestive enzymes. And if you see the chief cells, they secrete pepsinogen, a proenzyme, renin and gastric lipase. Renin and gastric lipase are active enzymes. Pepsinogen is a proenzyme which is converted to pepsin, an active enzyme, on the action of hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid converts pepsinogen into pepsin, an active form. So this pepsin is a proteolytic enzyme which breaks the proteins into proteases and peptones, and these proteases and peptones are further hydrolyzed into dipeptides, peptides and amino acids in the small intestine. And if you see, the main role of the renin enzyme is very specific because it is present only in infants and newborns. The main role of renin enzyme is coagulation of milk. So renin is an important enzyme secreted in the stomach of infants. And if you see, the enzyme gastric lipase helps in the digestion of dietary fats. Dietary fats are nothing but the fat molecules present in our regular diet. And next, if you see the parietal and oxyntic cells, parietal and oxyntic cells secrete hydrochloric acid. The role of hydrochloric acid is actually multiple. It acts as an immune barrier, killing the bacteria and viruses entering our stomach. It helps in the digestion and chyme formation, and also acts as an activator, activating the enzyme pepsin from its inactive form. And finally, if you see, the intrinsic factor is also secreted by the parietal and oxyntic cells. The main role of intrinsic factor, it helps in the absorption of vitamin B12. Actually, the vitamin B12 is not absorbed in the stomach. The intrinsic factor binds with the vitamin B12. It prevents the vitamin B12 from breaking down by the action of hydrochloric acid and digestive enzyme. So as the intrinsic factor is bound to the vitamin B12, it is transported to the small intestine where it is absorbed finally. And the ultimate aim of digestion is absorption or assimilation. So absorption also occurs in stomach, but it absorbs only, the stomach absorbs only water, simple sugars and alcohols. You see, the stomach even acts on proteins, fats, etc., etc. But proteins and fats are not absorbed in the stomach because they must be further hydrolyzed and digested in the small intestine. But water, simple sugar and alcohol are directly absorbed by the stomach. Simple sugars have undergone already 30% or more digestive process in the buccal cavity itself. So they are absorbed in the stomach. So now we are clear with the parts of stomach, gastric glands and absorption occurring in the stomach. So finally, help of all these important components present in the stomach, the final product of digestion in stomach is chyme, and it is produced by the churning action, that is physical movements and squeezing of stomach muscles, plus the activity of hydrochloric acid and the digestive enzyme. Finally, an important information is that these gastric cells and glands are stimulated to secrete the required enzymes based on the secretion of the hormone gastrin, which is secreted by the stomach. And HCL has also an important role in maintaining the pH of the stomach, because an optimum pH of 1.8 to 3.2 is required for the enzyme activity of the enzymatic secretions, that is renin, pepsinogen, etc. present in the stomach. So at that optimum pH only they will produce heightened digestive response. So now we are clear with the digestion in stomach. That's all for today's video. See you later.